Ah, friend, come closer. No, closer. I've got something to tell you that might just make you laugh, cry, or maybe clutch your chest like you're in one of those over-the-top soap operas. You see, when you reach 70 or 80, life does this funny thing. It slows down in some places, but not everywhere. Oh no, not everywhere. You know what I mean. Even at this age, some folks still have that spark, the little engine that could. But here's the twist. Doctors, they're funny people. They smile at you like everything's fine, but then they pull you aside and whisper something that makes you rethink everything you thought was harmless. And that's what I'm about to talk to you about today. So listen carefully, because if you're still, entertaining yourself under the sheets at this age, you might want to hear what I learned the hard way. Now, before you gasp and clutch your pearls, let me back up. I wasn't always this wrinkly old man. I was once the king of the dance floor, the charmer, the guy who couldn't pass a mirror without winking at himself. Age 40, prime. Age 50, still strong. Age 60, slowing down, but still got the moves. Then came 70. Oh boy. At 70, something happens. The body says, "Look, pal, we've been running this machinery for decades. The parts are creaky, the pipes aren't what they used to be, and the warranty expired years ago." But the mind doesn't age the same way. It still remembers how good it felt. It still whispers, "Hey, let's do that again, for old time's sake." So naturally, like many of my peers, I kept the tradition alive, quietly, discreetly. Didn't hurt anyone. No harm, no foul, right? Until one day, the doctor told me something that made me sit straight up in my chair like a teenager caught sneaking in past curfew. Now, I bet you're thinking, what could a doctor possibly say that would make a grown man blush at 80? Stick with me, because what I'm about to tell you might save you from more than just embarrassment. So, there I was, sitting in Dr. Stevens' office. Dr. Stevens, bless her heart, is one of those no-nonsense women. She's young, maybe 40, and she talks to you like she's seen every secret in the world. She leans forward and says, "Paul, we need to talk about your heart health." I nod. Fine. Typical old man stuff. Then she pauses, looks me dead in the eye, and says, "And your private activities." Now, friend, I nearly fell off the chair. "Excuse me?" I asked, like I didn't know what she meant. She clears her throat. "Paul, at your age, overexerting yourself in certain solo activities could lead to complications you don't want to deal with. Heart strain, blood pressure spikes, even mini strokes." Now, imagine hearing that after decades of thinking it was just a harmless habit. You probably think I'm exaggerating, but wait until I tell you the story of Mr. Bennett down the street. Oh, that poor man. So, let me tell you about Bennett. Bennett was 78, spry as a spring chicken, or so we thought. Always had a twinkle in his eye, always joking around with the ladies at the senior center. Then one day, word got around that he overdid it. He had a moment of passion all by himself and ended up in the emergency room with his heart racing faster than a runaway train. Now, thank goodness he survived, but the embarrassment, he never lived it down. He became the cautionary tale of the neighborhood. I went home after hearing Bennett's story and just sat there staring at my hands like they were guilty of a crime. Was it really worth it? Was this little pleasure worth risking a trip to the ER or worse? But here's the twist, because life is never black and white. Dr. Stevens didn't say to stop completely. Oh no, she had something more shocking to tell me. Before you think this is all doom and gloom, wait until you hear the real reason doctors give this warning. It's not just about the heart. See, at this age, our bodies are fragile. The blood flow isn't what it used to be. The vessels are thinner, and the risk of sudden spikes in blood pressure can trigger all sorts of problems. But more than that, there's the emotional side. Many seniors use this habit to feel alive, to feel connected to their younger selves. It's not just about the act, it's about clinging to a memory of vitality. But when it becomes obsessive, when it replaces real connection, it can lead to loneliness, depression, even guilt. And that's what I didn't realize. Let me ask you this, friend. Have you ever done something harmless, only for it to slowly take more of your time, your energy, your sense of balance? That's what happened to me. At 75, I started noticing I wasn't sleeping well. My energy dipped. My focus was off. And when I finally told Dr. Stevens, she just sighed and said, "Paul, moderation is key. Your body isn't 40 anymore." So now you're wondering, should you stop completely? Or is there a safe way to keep the spark alive? Don't go anywhere, because in a minute I'll share the doctor-approved approach that saved me from both embarrassment and health scares. But before I tell you that, I want you to do me a favor. If you're still listening to this old man ramble, it means you care about your health, or at least your curiosity got the better of you. Either way, I respect that. So why not like this video, drop a comment below about what you think, and hit that subscribe button. Trust me, I've got more stories like this, some even juicier, and I'd hate for you to miss them. All right, now back to the juicy part. After that appointment, I started researching. I spoke to other doctors, read some medical journals, even asked a therapist. Yes, a therapist, because sometimes the mind needs more help than the body. And you know what I learned? Masturbation itself isn't the villain. It's the how, when, and why you're doing it. If you're doing it to escape loneliness, to fill a void, or to relive a past that's long gone, it can harm your mental and physical health at this age. But if it's occasional, mindful, and gentle, yes, gentle, it's not only safe, but can actually promote circulation and reduce stress. Surprised? So was I. So here's the million-dollar question. How do you find that balance, that sweet spot between pleasure and safety after 70? Oh, you're going to want to hear this next part. I call it the rule of slow motion. Back when I was younger, it was all about speed, passion, urgency, excitement. But now, it's like watching an old film in slow motion. Gentle movements, deep breathing, pauses, letting the body relax rather than forcing it into a sprint it can't handle. And you know what? It became less about the destination and more about the moment. Dr. Stevens actually encouraged this approach. She said it keeps the heart calm, prevents sudden pressure spikes, and still lets you enjoy that little spark of life. But there's another layer, even more important. At this age, connection matters more than anything. If you're married or in a relationship, shifting your energy towards intimacy that involves closeness, conversation, and touch is far more fulfilling than being alone with your thoughts. And if you're single, find companionship, a friend, someone to laugh with. Because let me tell you, the real killer isn't the act, it's the loneliness. Now, I know you're blushing right now, or maybe laughing, but that's the point. We've spent too long pretending these things don't matter at our age, but they do. They matter for our health, our happiness, and our dignity. So before you go hiding in shame or pushing yourself too hard, remember what I'm saying here. It's not about stopping, it's about balance, about being kind to your body, about knowing when enough is enough. And friend, if you take just one thing away from this old man's story, let it be this. Don't let a simple pleasure turn into a silent danger. Now, I know you're curious about what else the doctor told me, because there was one last warning, and it shocked me even more than the first. It's about a hidden risk no one talks about, one that has nothing to do with your heart, but could affect your mind forever. Want to hear it? Stay with me, because in the next part, I'll reveal the hidden danger of overdoing it in your senior years that nobody warns you about, and how I nearly lost more than just my health. So there I was, sitting at home after that appointment, thinking I had finally heard it all. I thought the doctor's warning about my heart was the big reveal. But oh no, there was one more thing she didn't mention until my next visit. It was about the mind. When I saw Dr. Stevens again a month later, she sat me down with this look. Not judgmental, not angry, but serious. "Paul," she said, "you know the body isn't the only thing that ages. The brain does too. And at your age, the way you stimulate it can either help it stay sharp or push it into decline." I tilted my head. "Decline? You mean like dementia?" She nodded. "Yes, exactly. Here's the thing. Too much artificial stimulation without emotional connection can actually train your brain to crave more and more while reducing its ability to find satisfaction in real, meaningful interactions. And in older adults, that pattern can worsen anxiety, depression, and even cognitive decline." Now, let that sink in, friend. What she was saying is that it's not just about the physical risk. It's about the mental trap. You see, as we get older, we lose a lot. Friends pass away, families get busy, we feel forgotten. And for some seniors, that lonely feeling pushes them to seek comfort in the one thing they can control. It's harmless at first, but slowly it becomes a habit. Then it becomes an escape. And before you know it, it replaces real connection with a false sense of relief. I didn't want to believe it, but then she told me about one of her patients, Mr. Landers. Ah, poor Landers. Landers was 82, a widower. Lovely man, always smiling. But behind closed doors, he isolated himself. He stopped going to the senior club, stopped talking to his kids, stopped making any effort to meet people. Instead, he spent all his time alone, clinging to that one private habit. And over the years, his memory started slipping. His motivation for anything else disappeared. He became trapped in a cycle that made his loneliness even worse. When Dr. Stevens shared that story, I felt a cold shiver run down my spine, because I saw a bit of Landers in me. Now, don't get me wrong. The doctor wasn't saying the act itself causes dementia. No, it's not that simple. It's the isolation. It's the lack of balance. It's replacing real human connection with a temporary fix that tricks the brain into thinking it's fine, when deep down, it's not. Friend, let me tell you something important. At our age, the most dangerous thing isn't a bad habit. It's loneliness. Loneliness is a slow poison. It eats away at your heart, your mind, and your will to live. And anything, yes, even something that once brought pleasure, can become a trap if it keeps you isolated. So when I heard this, I decided to make a change. I started small. I began attending community lunches again. I called my old poker buddies. I even joined a senior exercise class where, believe it or not, I met Margaret, a sweet 76-year-old who has more energy than I do. And you know what happened? The need to escape into that private world faded. It didn't disappear completely, but it became healthier, balanced, less of a secret burden, and more of a natural, occasional part of life. And more importantly, my mind felt clearer, my mood lifted, I felt alive again. So here's the golden rule I learned. At this age, the answer isn't to give up pleasure. The answer is to replace lonely pleasure with shared joy, to find connection, laughter, touch, conversation, things that feed both the body and the soul. Now, maybe you're single. Maybe you think it's too late, but it's never too late to find companionship. Even a simple friendship can change everything. I started volunteering at the local library, reading to kids. I joined a senior choir, even though I can't hold a note. And every week, I meet Margaret for coffee. Just that little bit of social connection keeps the mind sharp and the heart calm. So, friend, if you're listening to me right now, I want you to pause and ask yourself a hard question. Are you using this private habit because it's an occasional joy or because it's the only thing keeping you company? If it's the second one, it's time to make a change. Now, I know this is a heavy topic. Some of you might be laughing, some of you might be squirming, but I'm telling you, it matters. Because one day, you don't want to wake up feeling like life has passed you by while you were hiding away. You want to wake up feeling connected, fulfilled, proud of the life you're still living, even in your golden years. So here's my advice, plain and simple. If you're still enjoying that spark at 70 or 80, do it gently, do it mindfully, but don't let it replace human connection. Keep your body moving, your mind engaged, and your heart open to others. And for heaven's sakes, don't be like Bennett or Landers. Don't let a moment of pleasure turn into a lifetime of regret. Life is too short, and at our age, every moment counts. Now, before I wrap this up, let me leave you with a little humor, because hey, even heavy topics need a laugh. When I told Margaret about Dr. Stevens' warning, you know what she said? She leaned in, smiled, and whispered, "Well, Paul, maybe you just need a partner to keep you safe." And I tell you what, I think she might be right. So friend, take care of yourself, find balance, seek connection, and remember, there's more to life than hiding behind closed doors. If you made it this far, I hope you learned something, or at least felt a little less alone. And if you want more stories from this old man about health, love, aging, and all the funny, awkward truths in between, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel, because trust me, I've got plenty more secrets to tell. Until next time, stay healthy, stay connected, and stay human.